Hello, welcome to the Zermed Show. I'm your host, Dr. Braha. On the show, we will feature local physicians and healthcare leaders who are experts in their respective fields and who will share their experiences and wisdom with us. We cover a broad range of health topics on the show, and today we have Svetlana Lipyanskaya, who is CEO of South Brooklyn Health. It's really a great honor to have the CEO of a major hospital here in New York City on the show. We'll start off with your background. Where are you from, and how'd you end up here in Brooklyn and with South Brooklyn Health?
Well, welcome to South Brooklyn Health. I'm actually from here. I grew up in this neighborhood. My family immigrated to the United States when I was 9 years old from Ukraine, and I grew up in Bensonhurst. So for me, this is almost like coming home, and coming home to lead our local hospital, the one that my family used when I was a kid.
Did you ever think growing up as a child you'd be the head of this hospital?
No, I never thought that. I went to summer school at Lincoln High School right across the street from here, and I never quite pictured being back here in this role, but I actually thought I would be a physician growing up. That's what my mother told me. So it was a very interesting reality to come back in this role, to this place, to my community, to my home.
Yeah, I think it's such a great thing to be the head of a hospital. More important than any physician.
Sounds fancy, huh?
Yes, because you're more important than all of us who are providing the care. You're providing us with the platform to provide.
I don't think that's true. I really think that my job is to provide support for everything that you guys do.
You do.
Right? At the end of the day, if I stay home tomorrow, everything here is going to run because we have wonderful physicians and nurses.
And our leadership allows us to provide this. A hospital for our viewers is an intricate place. There's millions of moving parts, and without a good leader at the head of a hospital, nothing goes right. We need all of our resources, and thank you for leading South Brooklyn Health, which is expanding, and it's really exciting to see the hospital. I've seen Coney Island Hospital from the time I was a child. My grandmother lived across the street, and I always knew about this hospital. They came here for their care, and to me, it's exciting to see this new building and this campus expanding. Tell us a bit about how you came to the decision, how South Brooklyn Health decided to put up this new hospital.
It's the only good thing to have come out of Hurricane Sandy, I think, in this community. So this place and this community in general were very much affected by Hurricane Sandy. Our whole first floor was flooded. All our key infrastructure actually went out. There was no power, no lights, no nothing here on the campus. And so we actually had to evacuate all our patients. And as a result of all of that, we got a really huge grant from FEMA to build this hospital. $923 million. Sounds like a lot of money. And just a small amount of cash, yes. And so we use that to fortify the campus, to make sure that it's resilient and hurricane-proof, and to build this incredible building, which will allow us to be here for the next 150 years.
Yeah, I see some of the hurricane, proofing around the building. There's a wall around the building?
There's a wall around the whole campus. And there's a lot of hurricane proofing that you don't see. So, for instance, the building itself is clad in all those wonderful windows. Well, all of that is hurricane proof. So whatever comes flying at it, it should be able to repel. The entire first floor will keep all of the key infrastructure and everything inside dry. All our key services start on the second floor. Our generators are up on the fifth floor. So we should be able to function through anything that the weather has to throw at us.
Yes, having been here, and I'm sure you were around during Sandy, it was really devastating. And healthcare is important. We can't interrupt healthcare for anything. And this hospital seems ready to take it on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, during Sandy, we literally had boats coming down Ocean Parkway. People came here even when the buildings were evacuated. This is an anchor in this community. People know that if something happens, you come to what used to be Coney Island Hospital. And so we need to make sure that we really hold up our end of the bargain, and we're here for our residents and for our community members.
Well, if this was a good thing to come out of Sandy, it certainly is a fold of devastation. We have a healthcare home here that seems to be
absolutely forever
really ready for anything. I know everyone's asking, we saw the sign switch on the top of the building from Coney Island Hospital to now South Brooklyn Health. Why the name change? What does it mean?
Well, listen, our communities continue to grow and change, and I love the fact that we take care of Coney Island. That's an incredibly important part of our community, but we are the closest hospital to 875,000 New Yorkers. Just think about that. That's a huge number. And so we really want to make sure that our doors are wide open to our whole community. Whether you're here for 5 generations or 5 minutes, you just need to know you're in South Brooklyn. You need to know you need healthcare. That's it. And you can come here. It was also very important to us that we move away from hospital and we move towards health. My job as a hospital CEO is to keep people out of our beds, right? So we really focus on ambulatory care, on preventive care, on keeping people in their community, in their home, being productive, living their best lives, and not having to come to the hospital and get hospital inpatient care. So we really want to focus on holistic, the whole person, on health, not just on the hospital.
Yeah, it makes sense to hospitals where we go when things didn't work out right, where we're really sick or ill or need to treat a disease, but health is what we start doing.
Yeah.
Born to prevent these diseases. So this is not just a place to come when you're sick, but a place to come to prevent disease.
Absolutely. This is where you come to your primary care doctor. This is where you come to your dentist. This is where you come to your OBGYN, right? And all of those things are meant to keep you healthy.
Right. Yeah. Our viewers might be sort of astonished to hear a CEO of a hospital saying, we're trying to keep you out of our beds, but that's basically saying we want to keep you healthy.
But that's exactly what it is. That's our job. That's our fundamental promise to this community is to keep you as healthy as you possibly can be.
And one of the nice things is that if you are unfortunately ill or if you come here for a good reason, there's a new hospital building.
There is.
And
brand new hospital beds and private rooms, and they're beautiful.
And it is great. It looks great. It's a nice addition to the community. On the topic of name changes from Coney Island Hospital to South Brooklyn Health, there's also a name change for the hospital itself after our late, great Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
That's right.
What inspired this name change to honor Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
Well, there's a small part of her being from Brooklyn, right? So this is a Brooklyn icon honored in Brooklyn, and that was very important to us. And really what our mission is. We stand for equity. We stand for healthcare for everybody. And that is absolutely what she stood for. So I'm really proud of this name change. I think this is a name that we can carry on for generations. And, her legacy will live through all of the work that we can do here.
Yeah, I think that was a really nice decision. The community felt it was nice to hear Ruth Bader Ginsburg's name on a hospital, on a brand new, gorgeous hospital here at Brooklyn. I guess talking more about names, there's a new name for the building that we're in right now, which is the older building, but it's called the Health and Wellness Institute. Tell us about this new institute that you're growing here.
Well, when I told you that we're focusing on health, that's absolutely why we're really talking about health and wellness here in this building. We're about to invest tremendously in expanding our ambulatory care footprint. So we're building new primary care practice, a new dental practice. We just opened our brand new outpatient behavioral health service. So the goal and the idea is to expand access for the community to all of those services that keep people healthy. And we just opened our weight management program, right? So all of these things that help you manage diabetes, that help you manage hypertension, so that you don't have a stroke, so that you don't have a heart attack, so that you could stay active. And that's why we really want to focus on health and wellness here on this campus.
So this conglomerate of ambulatory care, meaning like your traditional doctor's offices.
Yes.
For our viewers, that this is going to be a place that you can come to seek out all sorts of specialty care in order to stay out of the new building.
That's right.
Right.
You could come here today. You could come here today to get all of the services. Yes. We have them all here.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure that for the future, we're growing as much access as possible. Our communities are growing all around us, and we want to make sure that we have enough capacity to take care of anyone and everyone who wants to come.
We want to provide good ambulatory care to keep our population healthy so that we don't come to an emergency room or end up needing some emergency surgery or have heart attacks and strokes. And this is going to be the place for it. It's really impressive what you're expanding and what you're doing here. In terms of services, hospitals offer many different services, whether it's pediatrics, women, delivery, emergency care, surgical care. What are the new service lines, the new services that are being offered here at Coney Island, or I should say South Brooklyn Health? Our viewers should know that are being offered here at South Brooklyn Health that are new or that they're not aware of in the community, which may be very important.
Well, I think let's start with the services that we've always offered, but we've now expanded. So our new building has our brand new emergency department in it. It's on the second floor, and that's for resilience and flood protection. But what it also is double the size of what we had before with all brand new equipment. And it is a really lovely place, as much as lovely as you can make an emergency department. But we have, clinicians right greeting you at the front. So the care is there for you quickly. And we focus on access, right? So that is an incredibly important expansion for us. Because again, as much as we would like to keep everybody healthy, access to emergency care is paramount to what we do as well. We've built a brand new surgical suite in the building, chock full of every piece of equipment that you could possibly think of. Just several months ago, we started our robotic surgery program. So the Da Vinci robot is here, so we could send folks home quicker and with less blood loss, with quicker recoveries, and with less pain. And again, if you do have to have those tertiary care services, they're here for you. We've started our weight management program. We have a very active PCI program, and that is actually something that we're very passionate about because we're in an area that is far from other large hospitals. So if somebody's having a heart attack, now they can be brought here, and all those vessels that may need to be opened, that can happen right here, so that we can make sure that there is no deficit, that people are as healthy as they possibly can be. So we're very proud of our cardiac program. That's what we've been focusing on because of all of the issues that our community does experience.
Yeah, heart care is very important. I remember the last time I was here, I was speaking with the chairman of cardiology and about all the services here. That service line seems very important to be able to offer patients who are in the midst of a heart attack a place local to them that offers all of the services that they could expect to help prevent the heart attack from worsening or to stop the heart attack and improve their heart function. What other service lines are priorities for you here at the hospital? And for our viewers, service lines just mean types of care, whether it might be an organ in the body or a certain specific population. What else is a priority for you here at South Brooklyn Health?
So we talked about the heart. Then the next one's the brain, right? So where every minute counts, where every second counts, we really want to make sure that the services that patients need are close to home, are in their communities, so that an ambulance can bring you right here, so that whatever intervention you may need, you can get right here without having to go to another facility. So that's what we're focusing on, is stroke care. We already have programs where the drugs can be administered in the ED to break up those clots so that we can have reversals and patients can have really good outcomes, and we will continue to bring additional services here. The other one is surgery. We're expanding our surgical capacity and the services that we offer. So I mentioned robotics, and the next one that we're bringing here is bariatric surgery, because it's all about keeping people as healthy as they possibly can. And with bariatric surgery, you can reverse diabetes, you can reduce hypertension so that your heart and your brain stay healthy. So those are our next services that we'll be focusing on.
So the latest and greatest in weight loss operations, whether it's a sleeve or a bypass, you're bringing in the services to provide them to the community. I think it's important for the viewers to understand how important it is in the heart of your community to have the services that can save your brain, save your heart in the midst of a stroke or a heart attack right here at South Brooklyn Health, which for many of us is 5 or 10 minutes from home. And these are instances where brain tissue, heart tissue counts, and minutes lost can be major.
Yes, and there could be deficits that last for the rest of your life. So every minute counts. So there's a couple of really great stories, and we think that some of these things happen later in life, and sometimes they do. But we had a 29-year-old who had a stroke and was brought here and is now actually back to work with no deficits. We had a 45-year-old mother who was brought here in the midst of a heart attack and was able to return home to her family. And these are stories that happen all the time. And we don't think about, relatively young folks having these major healthcare situations, but they happen.
They happen all the time.
And so really being able to take care of that life-altering, life-changing situation right here in the community where every single minute counts, and it makes a difference between being fully back to where you were or having to live with consequences. That's why we're really focusing on bringing
the quicker they get these services, no matter what age you are, whether you have a heart attack in your 30s or 40s, the quicker you're treated, the better you'll do. And you don't have to travel far now in our community to go to hospitals that are distant from us here in South Brooklyn. Not Coney. I keep saying it because since I'm zero, I've been saying it. But South Brooklyn Health can provide these emergency brain, stroke, heart attack services. So that's important for our viewers. These are great services to have now. I know we talked about bariatrics coming on. Any other future endeavors that, as a CEO of a hospital, I'm sure you're always looking a million miles ahead to improve care. Any other strategic views or visions for South Brooklyn Health and Ruth Bader Ginsburg Hospital that you might have up your sleeve that no one knows about, or we can?
Well, since you mentioned Ruth Bader Ginsburg, we will be really focusing on a women's health service. I think that's incredibly important, and not just on the labor and delivery, which is when we get sort of the most acute care. In a sense, it's a wonderful thing delivering a baby, but it is an acute event. But really, the whole lifespan, right? So we really want to focus on gynecological services, on maternity and labor, and then again back to gynecological services. Really want to make sure that we're looking at it with an equity lens and we're taking care of all our patients in the best way we possibly can. Where again there will be a lot of construction here on this campus for the next couple of years. People make fun of me in my hard hat, but we will be rebuilding our OBGYN service and co-locating all of our services together so that we really can have the continuous care that our patients so well deserve.
Yeah, well, that's important for our female viewers at home. Our women in the household, many households, women run the healthcare and they make sure everyone gets their checkups. And so knowing that, we'll have comprehensive care here and comprehensive OB care is really important for the community.
For sure. We have it now. I mean, we have private recovery rooms, really great doctors. We want to make it even better. That's our focus. We've been here in this community for 150 years. I really want to see this hospital here and thriving for the next 150 years.
You're the visionary for a hospital as a CEO. You keep the plane flying, you keep the car running, you keep us going down that highway of providing healthcare in the future. It must be really exciting for you. What does it mean to be a leader in healthcare, a CEO of a hospital? What does that mean to you? How does it feel to be driving thousands of employees and the care for nearly 1 million people here in South Brooklyn?
It's really special because it's here. Because I remember being a kid on these streets. I remember being a new immigrant. I remember the struggles my family went through. So I don't know that I've ever have or ever will again be as emotionally connected and as tied to the success of an institution as I am to this one. Because I walk our hallways and I see my family in all our patients. So to me, it's incredibly special. It's kind of great to be CEO. That's true. And yes, that's impressive in and of itself, but fundamentally, it's really about all these folks, our employees, that are our community members, that are our patients. It is such a continuum here that it really does feel very special.
For our patients and our viewers today who live in Brooklyn, or especially here in South Brooklyn, you gave us a lot of reasons to choose this place to come to for preventative care, for primary care, to deliver babies, to have an operation if you needed. God forbid there's an emergency, to come here. What else can you say to our viewers as to why they should really choose Ruth Bader Ginsburg Hospital and South Brooklyn Health Center here?
Because of the compassion of our staff. Almost nearly half of the folks who work here live in these surrounding communities, so it's neighbors taking care of neighbors. And then somebody will hold your hand. Somebody will understand you. They will speak your language. They will care for you because you are their family members. Because very often you could be somebody's family member. So yes, the baseline is excellent care. That's the baseline. That's the very minimum requirement. What's extra is the compassion and the humanity and the understanding. And that's why you should come here.
Oh, it's really nice to hear this from the leader of the hospital, all these wonderful aspects of South Brooklyn Health and the new Ruth Bader Ginsburg Hospital. As with anyone I talk to about healthcare, whether it's a physician or someone in the executive room, women in medicine, women in leadership in the corporate world, what is it like to be a female in this world? And for our female viewers out there who may be watching and interested in women in healthcare, what suggestions do you have for them?
Well, look, I think a lot more women should be sitting in seats like mine. I think it's hard. It really is. It's in a sense a new frontier. And I think everybody who has an opportunity to mentor somebody or to sponsor somebody or to help along for somebody else in their career, I think that's incredibly important and incredibly special. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for a whole heck of a lot of folks who believed in me and invested in me. So I'm the product of that, right? And so I really feel that it's incredibly important to pay that forward. It shouldn't be as hard as it is. It shouldn't be as rare as it is, and hopefully in the future it won't be. So I'm going to do my very best so that the folks that come after me or that come next to me have more opportunities than I've had. And I certainly have had more opportunities than, those who have come before me. And I've learned a lot of lessons on how to lead with compassion and, frankly, compassion for yourself as much as for everybody else. I think women tend to be very hard on themselves. And for women who are really seeking to be in leadership, honestly, put one foot in front of the other, you can get to anywhere. I got here and so can you.
Sound advice, great advice. For the viewers who are watching us, who are interested in healthcare administration, what career path might they consider to end up in your shoes, heading a hospital or heading a healthcare organization? How did you start? Is it college? Is it master's? What work experience can they look for if they're interested in a career in healthcare administration?
So I do have a master's in healthcare administration. When I was a kid, I thought I'd be a doctor, just kind of somewhere along the way, sitting in that pre-med cohort, look to your left, look to your right. One of these people is not going to be pre-med when they graduate. That was me. So I think that really folks can have a myriad of different career paths. What I've always found, and the advice that I always give myself is, never focus on what you want to do. Just kind of decide what you don't. Try things out, figure out if something's for you or if it's not, and then the entire world is an opportunity. So don't limit yourself, really look broadly, go out of your way, ask questions. I think that's another thing that, younger in their career, women tend to be a little bit tentative about asking, because they don't want to look as if they don't know something. It's okay. I mean, I don't know many things. So I ask a lot of questions and that is really all right. And so I think that's the advice that I would give. Getting into healthcare, try as many things as you can. My policy always is never ask anybody to do something you wouldn't be willing to do yourself. And you learn a lot by sort of hands-on trying things out.
So we're here with Svetlana Lipyanskaya, the CEO of South Brooklyn Health, giving us a tremendous amount of information about the new institute here for health and wellness, the new hospital, Ruth Bader Ginsburg Hospital, South Brooklyn Health as a whole. The community has gained a ton of information, I'm sure, during our episode here today. But not only that, career advice and advice for women looking to move up the ladder in healthcare and healthcare administration. So I want to thank you for joining us. In our last minute or so, a message to our community, again, to wrap up here about South Brooklyn Health, anything that you want to let them know or some summary of what we talked about today.
Our doors are always open. Regardless of what you need, you can come here and we will do our very best to help you.
Well, I thank you for joining us. Thank you for leading South Brooklyn Health into this evolving landscape and this campus with our new hospital and ambulatory care and all the physicians that I've met here who seem to be just top-notch and of the highest caliber. So you're obviously leading a great group of people, because I'm impressed and the community is impressed by what you've done. So thank you for joining us here.
Thank you.
Thank you for your interest in the show and your desire to become involved and educated. I invite you to visit our website at www.zermed.com. Check out our tools, connect with us on social media. You can also call us at 718-510-2103. Please be well, stay safe, take care of you and your family. You can visit South Brooklyn Health for any of your healthcare needs. Have a great day. Goodbye.